Hello. This week I'm going to be making myself another field because I need a few more, to spread out across a rural battlefield that I want to do. And I've got some already, but I thought I'd make one and let you, show you how I do mine. Well, this is just one method. There's lots of others, but what I've took is an offcut of signwriter's board. I got it from a local chap, and it's just their offcuts. And you know you've got the right stuff when you get this, because it's got like a green film on it that obviously protects the surface for it to be printed onto. And you can just peel that off. I mean, this bit's been on there for a long while, but I'll just pull a bit of it. Well, and it comes off like that. So I've cut a piece to the right shape that I want. Second thing I need is a pair of old cords, which I've just picked up at a charity shop because I can get loads out of these. And then I'm going to be using some of this caulk, decorate and fill in cracks. And I'm going to use that to bond it down, and B, to go round over the edges. So, right. So let me cut a piece of this out, and then I'll bring you back. Right. So I've cut a piece of the corduroy out now, and what I'm going to do now is I'm going to spread some of this on the sheet of signwriter board. Put that on for now, see if that's enough. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to use this to spread it out. If I need more, I can put some more on, but just don't want to put too much on. There we go. To one side. Don't worry about anything that you get coming through, because you're going to be painting this anyway. The main thing is that you get a good bond on it. This is a slightly stretching type cord as well. Not that you need that, but it does help to stretch it out. Right, and that's it on. And when that dries, that's not going to be coming off. But what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to pop a glove on, because I'm going to smear some around this edge to blend it in, so you can't see the lip. see what I'm trying to achieve, just to blend it in and hide that edge. Right, that's it really. That's good enough. Anything I'm not happy with when it dries I can rub down a bit anyway. But I'm just going to let that dry now, and then I'll bring you back. Right, so the field's dry now, and at this stage the next thing that I'd normally do is paint this a more convincing earth colour, you know, and really drag it through the grain so you've still got the ploughed field look, and then, you know, potentially grass up the edge. Another thing that I've done with one of these is having some of these, you know, like shell bursts, you know, they burst in three. I've got one like that. And I'd just build that up with more of this stuff really, and then, you know, colour it to match in and put some loose debris around it. But for this one I'm doing something quite a bit different. I went to a local 1940s event recently. You might have seen the little video that I did, and I picked up, you know, a relatively cheap model actually. I'm not saying it's anything special, but it's perfect for the job I want to do on this. This is it. It's a Messerschmitt, and it was only £7.50, so I'm not expecting, you know, a highly detailed model, but let's have a look and see what we've got. Oh my, now that I wasn't expecting. It's actually pre-painted. No, I wasn't expecting that. That's not looking too bad. You know, probably put like a wash on it or something. At the end of the day, I only want it to look like a wreck, so well, that's not bad at all. Right, well, what I'll do is I'll quickly build this up to, you know, the stage that I want it at, because obviously, like I say, I don't want it to be totally complete. Like the wheels are obviously going to be either not put out at all, or just trashed and broken. So let me clip this together, and then I'll bring you back. Right, so I've built the plane. I've put on all the parts that I need it to have, and I've noticed that the nose is not coloured right, so I've just mixed up a bit of a yellowy orange to bring this to the right colour it should be. the other thing that I have done is I put the propellers against some heat so I could basically bend those into shape, you know, as if they've hit the ground. Once I've got this the nose part the right colour, I'll let that dry and give it another coat, and then what I can do is I can add a little bit of a dark wash or something to bring out some of the rivets a bit better. As I say, it's only a cheap model kit, so, but I'm sure it'll look the part once we've messed with it a bit. I mean, basically what I'm going to be using it as is a I mean, yeah, it can act as just terrain, but also could be an objective. It just gives you a few more elements in the game. Right, I'll let that dry, give it another coat, and then I'll bring you back. Right, so while I'm waiting for the Messerschmitt to dry, I'm going to paint on an earth mix onto this, and basically I've just added a little bit of PVA into it as well. Obviously I'm going to have to add a little bit to it when I put the Messerschmitt on, but I want to get the base colour down at least. You can see how that's going on now. I will be adding a little bit of my soil mix to this later on, but this is just to get the base colour down. Let's get this edge painted up as well. Right, I'll bring you back soon. Right, so what I've done now is I've just gone over with another light coat of earth coloured paint and PVA, and now what I'm going to do is I'm going to sprinkle some of my soil mixture on this as well. I've got the slightly thicker stuff as well. Right, once this is dried a bit, I'll be giving it a watered down PVA as well. think that'll do for now. Right, I'll let that dry and then I'll bring you back. Right, so what I've done now is I've used a little bit of this decorative cork, whatever you want to call it, just to glue it down in place, and I'm holding that in place with the crocodile clip now. And to strengthen it, I've used the broken wheel underneath and I've super glued that in place, which gives an extra support to this wing. And the same under this one with the other broken wheel. And then what I'm doing now is I'm squeezing PVA into any gaps that I can see, and then I'm top filling it with my soil. Obviously you can see that I'm getting bits of it on the plane. That's great. It all adds to it, so that's not a problem. But the main thing I'm trying to do at the minute is underfill this, and anything where I've got glue, just to hide it. I can still see a little bit under there that I need to get to. I'm going to squeeze a little bit of glue down into that gap. Yep. And then that's going into it. Perfect. And that's disguising all the glue underneath. And that's going to hold it. Once that's set and gone off, that's not going to be moving. Even though it looks like it's finely balanced, it is well supported. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to give this plenty of time to set in that position, and then when it has set, I'll give it another coat of watered down PVA just to seal it in, and maybe add a little bit more soil to these side edges to blend it in more with the main field. But at the minute I just need to let that set now till it's, you know, gone really hard, and then it'll be ready for the next stage. Right, so I'll bring you back when that's gone off. Right, so it's all dried now, and it's pretty much set in place. I have sealed it a few times, but what I want to do now is add a bit of emphasis to the path that the plane's took as it's dragged through this bit. But then I want to do like a suggestion of the crops that were going that have now been disrupted, you know, in what would have been the lines of crops. So the first thing I'm going to go for is the actual, some of the dragging marks and the impact of the fuselage here. So I want to do that as a bit of a raised area, just to show it, you know, its path going that way. So what I'm going to do is, first of all, I'm just going to brush out any loose and already you can see that it's going to suggest its pathway, because I'm brushing a path through the soil that we put on the top. And you want the impact of the wheel being dragged along. Same on the other side for the other wheel. Tip the loose stuff off. And you can see, with having put that soil on it, it gives that a bit more definition to the drag. You know, it don't look like it's just been plopped there anymore. It looks like it's literally come in. I think I might put a bit of a suggestion here as well for the tip of the wing dragging. So that's the effect that I was going for. I will rub that and give it even more definition. I think that's enough now. I think that's it's created the area of drag that I wanted to show. So what I'm going to do now is anything that's outside of that area, I can potentially do traces of where the crop lines were. I'll just put a bit of glue on my paper. Right, so a bit of the lines there. And then it's been dragged across. So that would continue there. So basically I'm trying to only put back what's not been affected by the crash. Put something on that before that starts drying. Obviously I'm going to get some that won't stick to this line and fall either side, but that can be brushed off afterwards. So what I'll do is I'll carry on putting a few more lines into this and building up that. It doesn't look much at the minute because obviously it's not following the exact line. But once it's dried and I can brush off the loose, you'll be able to see a bit more of the line itself. Right, I'll carry on doing a bit more of this and then I'll bring it back to you when it's dry. Right, so I've given all these crop rows a sealing with watered down PVA now. They're still a little bit damp, but they're getting there. There are still things that you could add to this if you wanted to, but I'm quite happy with the way it is at the moment. I think this will be fine for what I want it for, because I can mix it in with the other bits of terrain that I've got. As I said from the outset, this kit that I picked up isn't exactly the right scale for bolt action. In fact, I think it's, what is it? It's 1/48 scale. I've never actually found an aeroplane kit that's 1/56 like the bolt action figures, but it is pretty close. Certainly close enough to look visually right. I will bring some troops in and take a few pictures, just so you can see that it is a little bit on the small side, but it does the job. Anyway, I hope you found it interesting and it's perhaps giving you an idea for things that you can do with your fields to, just add a bit more to them. You could have crash vehicles or a bogged down tank, whatever. And it just makes an objective in the game as well as a bit of, nice scenery. Anyway, I hope you found something useful. If you have, as I always say, please consider giving me a thumbs up or even subscribing for, future videos. And if there's any comments you want to pass, please drop them down below. I always read them. And as I've said before, I can't thank you all enough for, your kind support and some of the lovely comments that I get. It truly is helping to motivate me to keep going with it all, really. So, big thank you to everybody. Anyway, I'll wrap this one up. As I said, I'll leave you with a few photographs and I'll see you again soon. Bye.